Yesterday, we discussed about Raoult's law, ideal and non-ideal solutions. Raoult's law means the partial vapor pressure of each component in a solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that component. That is Raoult's law. That means P is equal to P naught x1. An ideal solution means the solution which obeys Raoult's law. The solution which obeys Raoult's law, that is the solutions which does obeys Raoult's law, that is ideal solutions. The solutions which does not obey non-ideal solutions are real solutions. So non-ideal solution shows positive deviation from Raoult's law and negative deviation from Raoult's law. Now, I am telling about this colligative properties. Colligative properties. Colligative properties means the properties of dilute solutions which depends on the number of solute particles, but not chemical identity, is called colligative. Colligative properties means the properties which depends on the number of solute particles in this section, that is called colligative properties. Okay, colligative properties are four types. First one is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. And the second one is elevation of boiling point, elevation of boiling. Third one is depression in freezing point. Fourth one is osmotic pressure of a solution. These are four types of colligative properties. They are relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point, depression in freezing point, and osmotic pressure of the solution. Now, first one is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Once again, colligative properties means the properties of solution which depends on number of solute particles but not chemical identity. These properties are called colligative properties. In these colligative properties here, four types of colligative properties. They are relative lowering of vapor pressure, and elevation of boiling point, and depression in freezing point, osmotic pressure. Okay, now we are going to telling about first one is relative lowering of vapor pressure. First one is relative lowering of vapor pressure of solvent. Right. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now you take one pure liquid. That means water. You take in water in a beaker, that is pure component. Here, at the surface of the water, only water molecules are present. So its vapor pressure is high. Vapor pressure is high. Okay, let us say here to this water molecule and take water molecule a small amount of non-volatile solute. Non-volatile solute is adding to this water, then vapor pressure is decreases. Vapor pressure is decreases. Then vapor pressure is decreases. This decrease in vapor pressure, it's called as lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. Once again here, vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute is always lesser than pure solvent. Pure solvent. Vapor pressure of the solution anedi always vapor pressure of pure solvent kante takkuva untundi. That means vapor pressure of solution is always lesser than vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent. This is pure solvent, this is solution. This is pure solvent, this is solution. That means vapor pressure of the pure solvent is always greater than compared to that of vapor pressure of the solution. Why? Because here at the surface only pure solvent molecules are present. Only pure solvent molecules are present. So that's why these pure solvent molecules undergoes vaporization, it forms more number of vapor molecules and exert a more vapor pressure surface on the surface of the liquid. But in case of solution, at the surface, not only solvent molecules but also solute particles. ఇక్కడ solvent molecules ఈ surface దగ్గర solvent molecules తో పాటు solute molecules కూడా ఉంటాయి. Solvent molecules తో పాటు solute particles కూడా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి so at the surface number of solvent molecules decreases, then vapor pressure also decreases. Vapor pressure also decreases. That means vapor pressure of pure solvent is always more than vapor pressure of solution. Okay, here vapor pressure of solution like this lesser than vapor pressure of pure solvent. Okay, na? Right. On addition of non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure of solvent in a solution here, on addition of non-volatile solute, vapor pressure of solvent in a solution decreases. This is called lowering of vapor pressure. So lowering of vapor pressure means when a non-volatile solute is adding to the solvent, then it leads to the formation of solution. Then vapor pressure of the solution decreases. This decrease lowering of vapor pressure. That means here lowering of pressure. That means P to P naught minus, that means PS. Here P naught is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent, and P is equal to vapor pressure of solution. Vapor pressure of solution. Okay, P naught is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent. P is equal to vapor pressure of solution. Here vapor pressure of pure solvent is always more than or greater than vapor pressure of the solution. Okay. Next, relative lowering of vapor pressure means the ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. It's called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure means the ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent, it's called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. The ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent is called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. That means RLVP is equal to P naught minus P by P naught. P naught minus P by P naught. Here P naught minus P means lowering of vapor pressure. P naught means vapor pressure of the pure solvent. That means lowering of vapor pressure upon the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. That is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. According to Raoult's law for non-volatile solute, according to Raoult's law of the dilute solution containing non-volatile solute, here a non-volatile solute, relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. According to Raoult's law for dilute solution containing non-volatile solute, here P naught minus P by P naught is equal to phi. Okay. This derivation, as per Raoult's law, P is equal to P naught into x1. Okay. That means vapor pressure of the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that component. That means P is equal to P naught x1. As per lowering of vapor pressure, delta P is equal to P naught minus P. Delta P is equal to P naught minus P. This is lowering of vapor pressure. So here P naught minus, what is the P value? P is equal to P naught into x1. So P naught minus P naught x1. P naught x1. Here P naught into 1 minus x1. Here we taken P naught is common. P naught into 1 minus x1. Okay. Already you know that. Here x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Okay. Next x2 is equal to 1 minus x1. Already I said that in mole fraction. X1 plus x2 is equal to 1. X2 is equal to 1 minus x1. Then delta P is equal to P naught 1 by x1. 1 by x1 is equal to x2. That means P naught delta P by P naught is equal to x2. Delta P is equal to P naught minus P by P naught is equal to x2. This is like this. Okay. According to Raoult's law for dilute solutions containing non-volatile solute, P naught minus P by P naught is equal to x2. Okay. This ela derive cheyochu ante ila. As per Raoult's law, P is equal to P naught x1. Lowering of vapor pressure delta P is equal to P naught minus P. So P naught minus P value, what is P naught x1? P naught x1. P naught common we say P naught into 1 minus x1. So 1 minus x1 that is equal to x2. So here delta P is equal to P naught 1 minus x1 that is equal to x2. So delta P is equal to P naught x2. Then delta P by P naught is equal to x2 from this. Okay, P naught delta P means P naught minus P by P naught is equal to x2, like this. So here okay, so here P naught minus P by P naught is equal to x2. Here X2 means mole fraction, mole fraction of solute, mole fraction of solute. That means P naught minus P by P naught is equal to, what is mole fraction of solute? Number of moles of solute by total moles of solvent in the solution. That means N2 by N1 plus N2. N2 by N1 plus N2. For very dilute solutions, for very dilute solutions, here N2 is very less than N1. Very dilute solutions, very dilute solutions. That is, number of moles of solute is negligible. So N2 means number of moles of solute. N1 means number of moles of solvent. Number of moles of solvent. For example, a small spoon of salt in a 1 bucket of water. 1 bucket of water lo 1 small spoon, a chinna spoon salt unte, that is negligible. So that is N2. It is very less than N1. Then it is negligible. Then minus P naught is equal to N2 by N1. N2 means number of moles of solute. N1 means number of moles of solvent. Generally, number of moles by molecular weight. N2 is equal to W2 by M2, and N1 is equal to W1 by M1. N2 is equal to W2 by M2. N1 is equal to W1 by M1. That means P minus P by P by N1, W2 by M, W1 by M1. Finally, W2 by M2 into M1 by W1. This is a relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now you can find out the molecular weight of solute. Then M2 is equal to W2 into M1 into P naught by P naught minus P into W1. This formula for calculation for molecular weight of solute. That is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now once again explain this here. Relative lowering of vapor pressure means the ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. That is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Here lowering of vapor pressure means the decrease in vapor pressure. Lowering means decreasing vapor pressure. When vapor pressure decreasing, here you take pure solvent in a beaker. So this vapor pressure is more. Okay, this pure solvent we adding the non-volatile solute. This pure solvent ki non-volatile solute add chesta unnam. Then vapor pressure decreases. This decrease of vapor pressure, that's called as lowering of vapor pressure. This decrease of vapor pressure is called as lowering of vapor pressure. That means on addition of non-volatile solute in a pure solvent, then vapor pressure of solvent in a solution is decreases. That is called lowering of vapor pressure. Before adding solute, this is only pure solvent. After adding solute, this is a solution. Binary solution means it contains two components. They are solute and solvent. Before adding the solute, here is only the presence of only pure solvent. After adding the solute, this is it leads to the formation of solution. Then vapor pressure decreases. This decrease in vapor pressure is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Then lowering of vapor pressure, delta P is equal to P naught minus P. Here P naught means vapor pressure of pure solvent. P means vapor pressure of the solution. Now the definition we are going to define for the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Once again, the ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of the fused solvent, that is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. That means RLVP, relative lowering of vapor pressure, is equal to P naught minus P by P naught. According to Raoult's law of a dilute solutions containing non-volatile solute, here P naught minus P by P naught is equal to nothing but this fraction of solute. So minus P naught is equal to chi2 is equal to N2 by chi2 means or X2 means N2 by N1 plus N2. For very dilute solutions, N2 is very less than N1. That means negligible content. Negligible content. So here P naught minus P by P naught is equal to N2 by N1. N2 by N1. ఇక్కడ N2 రాయాలి చూడండి కింద. ఎందుకంటే that is negligible for very dilute solutions. N2 by N1. Here N2 is equal to W2 by M2. N1 is equal to W1 by M1. So P naught minus P by P naught is equal to W2 by M2 into M1 by W1. Now you can find out the molar mass of the solute. Then M2 is equal to W2 into P naught by P naught minus P1 into W1. Okay, here this is similar. Okay, how can you derive P naught minus P by P naught is equal to X2 from this derivation? P is equal to P naught X1 as per relative, as per lowering of vapor pressure, delta P is equal to P naught minus P. Here P naught minus P means P naught X1. Here like this. P naught common తీసేస్తే into P naught into 1 minus X1. 1 minus X1. Then delta P is equal to P naught. 1 minus X1 means X2 from this analysis. Okay, right. Delta P by P naught is equal to X2. Here delta P means P naught minus P by P naught is equal to X2. This is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Here is very simple logic. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property, but lowering of vapor pressure is not a colligative property. Okay, that is clarity. That is for clarity. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property, but here lowering of vapor pressure, this is not colligative property. That is clarity. Okay, next another colligative property is depression in freezing, elevation of boiling point. Second one is elevation of boiling point. Now, first of all, what is the boiling point? The boiling point means the temperature at which vapor pressure of solution containing non-volatile solute would be equal to the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Thus temperature is called as boiling point. Boiling point means the temperature at which the vapor pressure of solution becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. ఏ టెంపరేచర్ వద్ద అయితే వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ ఆఫ్ సొల్యూషన్ అనేది అట్మాస్ఫిరిక్ ప్రెషర్ కి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుందో ఆ టెంపరేచర్ ని బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ అని చెప్తాం. బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్. ఓకే, లెట్ us say explanation for elevation of boiling point. You take some amount of water in a beaker. Okay, in a beaker, and water boiling point is 100 degrees centigrade. Here in water, when you adding non-volatile solute, non-volatile solute. When non-volatile solute is adding to the pure solvent or nothing but water, the boiling point is increases. Boiling point is increases. This increase is called elevation of boiling point. Elevation of boiling point. Okay, that means boiling point of solution is always greater than boiling point of pure solvent. Boiling point of solution containing non-volatile solute is always greater than boiling point of pure solvent. Okay, after addition of non-volatile solute, boiling point is increases. This increase in boiling point, it's called as elevation of boiling point. Elevation of boiling point. Okay, boiling point of solution always greater than boiling point of pure solvent or pure component, like this. This increase in boiling point, it's called as elevation of boiling point. Okay, that means pure solvent boiling point is T0B. This is T0B. Boiling point of solution means TB. In between T0B, TB, which one is more? TB is more. Then the difference between boiling point of the pure solvent and boiling point of the solution, that is called delta TB. Delta TB. Delta TB. That is equal to TB minus T0B. TB minus T0B. Here delta TB is a elevation of boiling point. TB is equal to boiling point of solution. Boiling point of solution containing non-volatile solute, and T0B is equal to boiling point of pure solvent. Boiling point of pure solvent. Boiling point of pure solvent. Okay, for dilute solutions, elevation of boiling point is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the solution containing non-volatile solute. That means delta TB is directly proportional to M. Delta TB directly proportional to M. That means molality. Elevation of boiling point is directly proportional to molality. That means, that implies here delta TB is equal to Kb into M. Kb into M. Here Kb means ebullioscopic constant. Kb means ebullioscopic. Kb is equal to ebullioscopic constant. Ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant. Molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. That means delta TB is equal to Kb into M. Here Kb is equal to ebullioscopic constant. Okay, now molality M is equal to W2 by M2 into 1000 by solvent weight. Here take this. Okay, weight by molecular weight into 1000 by solvent weight. That is the formula of the molality. Molality means, already I said that molality means the number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent. 1 kg of solvent. Okay, that is called molality. Now delta TB is equal to Kb. Delta TB is equal to Kb into M. M means like this. W2 by M2 into 1000 by W1. 1000 by W1. Okay, you can calculate for molecular weight of solute is equal to Kb into W2 into 1000 by here delta TB into W1. This is, you can calculate the molecular weight of solute. This is elevation of boiling point. Okay, you can draw a graph between vapor pressure and temperature. Here this is atmospheric pressure. This is solvent, boiling point of solvent. This is T naught B. Boiling point of solvent means T naught B. After adding the non-volatile solute, it forms solution. This is boiling point of solution. This is TB. Here, the difference between T and T is delta TB. Then delta TB. Here delta TB. Okay. Once again, here elevation of boiling point means, what is the boiling point? Here boiling point means the temperature at which vapor pressure of solution would be equal to the atmospheric pressure. That is called boiling point. Okay, you take a point in a beaker, that's boiling point is T naught B. After adding the non-volatile solute in a pure solvent, that leads to the formation of solution, and boiling point of solution is TB. So again here, boiling point of solution is always greater than boiling point of pure solvent. So delta TB is equal to TB minus T naught B. TB means boiling point of the solution, T naught B means boiling point of the pure solvent. Okay, boiling point of the solution is always more than boiling point of the pure solvent. So here like this. Okay, for dilute solutions, elevation of boiling point is directly proportional to its molality. That means small m. Here delta T Kb into m. Here Kb means ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant. Now molality m is equal to W2 by M2 into 1000 by W1. This m value is substitution this like this. Delta TB is equal to Kb into W2 by M2 into 1000 by W1. Now you can calculate the molecular weight of solute. Then M2 is equal to Kb into W2 into 1000 by delta TB into W1. Now what is meant by ebullioscopic constant? So ebullioscopic constant means here the elevation of boiling point when observed in 1 molar concentration of solution containing non-volatile solute. Okay, that is ebullioscopic constant. Here delta TB is equal to Kb into M. Then Kb is equal to delta TB by M. That is ebullioscopic constant. Units are K, Kg, mole inverse. Kelvin, kilogram, mole inverse. That is ebullioscopic constant. Okay, now another one is depression in freezing point. It is very simple. Depression in freezing point. Freezing point means the temperature at which a solid form of the liquid begins separate out from the liquid. At this temperature, solid and liquids will be in equilibrium. That is called freezing point. Freezing point means the temperature at which a solid form of liquid begins separate out from the liquid. That means at this temperature, solid and liquid solid and liquid will be in equilibrium. That is freezing point. Now, after adding the non-volatile solution, freezing point is decreases. Boiling point is increases. Here, freezing point is decreases. This decrease in freezing point is called as depression in freezing point. That means here delta Tf is equal to T naught F minus Tf. T naught F minus Tf. Okay. In elevation of boiling point, delta Tb is equal to V minus T naught B. Okay. That means this is boiling point of solution. This is boiling point of pure solvent. In elevation of boiling point of the solution is always more than boiling point of the pure solvent. But in this case, freezing point of the pure solvent, is kind of solution. Okay. After addition of non-volatile solute, freezing point is decreases, not increases, decreases. So delta Tf is equal to T naught F minus Tf. Okay. Here delta Tf means depression in freezing point. T naught F is equal to freezing point of pure solvent, and Tf is equal to freezing point of solution. Okay. Here is also the depression in freezing point is directly proportional to molality. That implies delta Tf is equal to F into M. Delta Tf is equal to F into M. Here Kf means cryoscopic constant. Or molal depression constant. That is Kf. Okay. Here molality M is equal to what is molality? Small m is equal to weight by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by solvent weight. Okay. Now delta Tf is equal to Kf. Delta Tf is equal to Kf into M. M means here like this. W2 by M2 into 1000 by W1. From this equation, we can calculate molar mass. That means molecular weight of solute. Here, Kf into W2 into 1000 by delta Tf into W1. That is molar mass of solute is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 by delta Tf into W1. Okay. Now cryoscopic constant. Here cryoscopic constant means the depression in freezing point were observed in 1 molar solution. That is called cryoscopic constant. Here delta Tf is equal to Kf into M. Then Kf is equal to delta Tf by Kg. Okay. Here after adding the non-volatile solute, freezing point is decreases. This decrease in freezing point is called as depression of freezing point. Okay. And delta Tf is equal to T naught F minus Tf. Okay. T naught F minus Tf. That means here freezing point of pure solvent is always more than freezing point of solution. T naught F means freezing point of pure solvent. Tf is equal to freezing point of solution. Okay. For a dilute solutions, delta TF is directly proportional to M. That means molality. Here delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Kf means cryoscopic constant or molar depression constant. Cryoscopic constant or molar depression constant. Okay, molality M is equal to, that means small W2 grams of solute containing molar mass M2 dissolving in W1 grams of solvent. That means W2 by M2 into 1000 by W. M value is substituting in this. Here delta F is equal to Kf W2 by M2 into 1000 by W1. From this formula we can calculate the molar mass of the solute. That means M2 is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 by delta Tf into W1. The next one, cryoscopic constant. Cryoscopic constant means depression in freezing point when observed in 1 molar solution. That means Kf is equal to delta Tf by M. Units of cryoscopic constant K, Kg mole inverse. Okay, that is depression in freezing point. Okay, next one. Next one is last colligative property. Osmotic pressure of the solution. Osmotic pressure of the solution. Now, first of all, osmosis. Right. Osmosis. This is very important thing. Like this. Right. This is solution. This is pure solvent. Pure solvent. This is semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. Okay. Now we define the osmosis. Osmosis, the spontaneous flowing of pure solvent or solvent molecules. The spontaneous flowing of solvent molecules from the pure solvent to solution through semi-permeable membrane. That is called osmosis. Osmosis means the spontaneous flowing of solvent molecules through semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane from pure solvent to solution. That is called osmosis. That is called osmosis. Osmosis means the spontaneous flowing of solvent molecules through semi-permeable membrane from pure solvent to solution. That means this is pure solvent, this is solution. Generally, here the solvent molecules flowing from this side to this side. That means from pure solvent to solution side through the semi-permeable membrane. That is called osmosis. Okay. Generally, solvent molecules flowing from low concentration to high concentration. Low concentration to high concentration. In this side, low concentration, in this high concentration. Why? Because here solute particles is absent. Here solute particles is present or present. Okay, what is concentration? What is concentration here? The amount of solute present in the solution. Okay, that will be decided the concentration of the solution. Okay, here solute particles ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి దీని concentration higher గా ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడ లేదు కాబట్టి this is lower. Okay, solvent molecules flowing from low concentration region to high concentration region. Okay, now semi permeable membrane. What is semi permeable membrane? Semi permeable membrane means the membrane which allows to pass only solvent molecules but not solute or solute particles. That type of membrane is called semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane means the membrane which allows to pass only solvent molecules but not solute particles. That is called semi-permeable membrane. For example, parchment paper and pig's bladder and skin around the egg white. Skin around the egg white. Egg white to a small layer that is acts as a semi-permeable membrane. Okay. Next one, the pressure exerted on the solution side. The pressure exerted on the solution to stop the osmosis. That means flowing of solvent molecules from the pure solvent to solution. That is called osmotic pressure. It is very most important. Osmotic pressure. Okay. The pressure that must be applied on solution to just stop osmosis. That is called osmotic pressure. So osmosis process ni stop cheyadam kosam solution paina మనం అప్లై చేసే ప్రెజర్ ని osmotic pressure. General osmotic pressure ఏ సైడ్ అప్లై చేస్తాం? Solution side. This is flowing of solvent molecules from pure solvent to solution side. Okay, when we applying, that must be applying on solution side. The pressure that must be applying on solution side to stop the osmosis. So దీనిపైన మనం ప్రెజర్ అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు solvent molecules, flowing of solvent molecules from this side to this side will stop అయిపోదు. ఆ స్టాప్ చేయడం కోసం మనం అప్లై చేసేదాన్ని osmotic pressure అంటాం. For example, we will applying the pressure more than osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure కంటే higher pressure apply చేసినప్పుడు the osmosis process will be reversed. That means reverse osmosis. ఇక్కడ మనం అప్లై చేసే ప్రెజర్ ఆస్మాటిక్ ప్రెజర్ కంటే ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నట్లయితే ఆస్మాసిస్ ప్రాసెస్ అనేది రివర్స్ లో జరుగుతుంది అనమాట. అంటే సాల్వెంట్ ఫ్లోయింగ్ ఆఫ్ సాల్వెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది సొల్యూషన్ సైడ్ టు సాల్వెంట్ సైడ్. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ రివర్స్ ఆస్మాసిస్. Now here osmotic pressure means phi is directly proportional to concentration. That is equal to phi is equal to CRT. C means concentration, universal gas constant, T means temperature. Then C is equal to nothing but molarity, that means concentration. Here molarity M is equal to what is? Number of moles of solute by volume of solution. That means N2 by V. N2 means number of moles of solute, V means volume. Then phi is equal to N2 by V RT. That means phi V is equal to N2 RT. Phi V is equal to what is? N2 RT. Here N2 means number of moles of solute. That means weight by molecular weight. Here this value is substitution here. Phi V is equal to W2 by M2 RT. We can calculate the molar mass. M2 is equal to W2 RT by IV. Like this. Okay. Right. Here, any two solutions having same osmotic pressure, any two solutions having same osmotic pressure, it's called as isotonic solution. It is very, very most important. Isotonic solutions. Isotonic solution. What are isotonic means? Two cells have same osmotic pressure. This type of solutions are called isotonic solutions. Example, blood is isotonic with saline solution. Blood is isotonic with saline solution. Saline solution means 0.9% NaCl solution. 0.9% NaCl solution is called as saline solution. Okay. Osmosis means the spontaneous flowing of solvent molecule from pure solvent side to solution side through semi-permeable membrane. That is called osmosis. Okay. The membrane which allows to only solvent molecules but not solute particles, that is called semi-permeable membrane. Okay. The pressure that must be applied on solution side to stop the osmosis, that is called osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Okay. Osmotic pressure directly proportional to concentration. That means phi is equal to CRT. Here C means molarity. Molarity means number of moles of solute by volume of solution. M is equal to N2 by V. Then phi is equal to N2 by V RT. Phi V is equal to N2 RT. Here N2 means number of moles of solute. That means weight by molecular weight of solute. Then phi V is equal to W2 by M2 RT. M2 is equal to W2 RT by phi V. Okay. Next, any two solutions having same osmotic pressure, this type of solutions are called isotonic solution. Okay. For example, blood is isotonic with saline solution. Here, saline means 0.9% NaCl. 0.9% NaCl. Okay. Okay. Suppose the solutions contains more than 0.9%. That means higher osmotic pressure. That type of solutions are called hypertonic solutions. Hypertonic solutions. The solutions which contains less than 0.9%, that is hypotonic solutions. Hypotonic solutions. Okay, that is osmosis. Osmosis means flowing of solvent molecules from the solvent side to solution side through the semi-permeable membrane. This is called osmosis. Okay, semi-permeable membrane means this is allows only solvent molecules but not solute particles. Example, fixed bladder, skin around the egg white, even common. Next one, osmotic pressure means the pressure exerted that must be applied on the solution side to stop the osmosis, that is called osmotic pressure. In case we applying the more than osmotic pressure, the osmosis process is reverse takes place. That means solvent molecules from the solution flowing from solution side to solvent side, that is reverse osmosis. Okay. Next one is any two solutions having same osmotic pressure, that is isotonic solutions. For example, blood is isotonic with saline solution. Saline solution means 0.9% NaCl solution.